You won't believe what just went down on live television. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett didn't just show up. She unleashed a masterclass in political composure and verbal precision that completely unraveled Karoline Leavitt's talking points in real time. And it all started with a simple question about journalistic integrity and the role of media in shaping public narratives, to which Crockett leaned in with that signature poise of hers, calmly yet firmly reminding everyone that facts still matter and that credibility isn't built on sound bites, but on substance, while Leavitt, clearly unprepared for the intellectual gauntlet that had just been thrown, tried to steer the conversation toward her usual lines about media bias and so-called liberal agendas. But Crockett was having none of it. She cut straight through the noise, dismantling the argument piece by piece, citing actual data, court rulings, and historical precedent. And when Leavitt attempted to pivot toward Hunter Biden, hoping to ignite the usual distraction cycle, Crockett coolly responded, "This isn't about your obsession with the president's son. This is about the erosion of truth under political pressure." And you could feel the shift in the studio atmosphere, the tension tightening, the host barely able to keep from gasping as the Congresswoman continued, each word slicing clean and deliberate. And then came the moment everyone is now replaying on social media. Leavitt raised her voice in a last-ditch effort to dominate the narrative, but Crockett didn't flinch. She simply smiled and said, "If yelling made your argument stronger, I might consider it, but unfortunately, volume isn't validation." And the crowd, yes, even the neutral commentators, were stunned into silence because it was in that moment Crockett exposed not just the weakness of Leavitt's argument, but the performative nature of so much of today's political theater, and instead of gloating or going for a viral soundbite, she pivoted again, bringing the conversation back to policy, to actual governance, talking about affordable health care, economic equity, and voting rights. Things the American people care about but rarely get to hear on mainstream platforms, and every time Leavitt tried to pull her back into partisan bickering, Crockett responded with a blend of grace and grit, like when she said, "We are not going to pretend both sides are equally invested in democracy," when one side literally tried to overturn an election, which landed like a thunderclap and left Leavitt scrambling to recite unrelated statistics that Crockett immediately contextualized and corrected. And for every deflection, every half-truth, every dog whistle Leavitt threw out, Crockett met it with clarity, with confidence, with calm. But make no mistake, this wasn't just a debate victory. It was a dismantling, and not because Crockett was louder or flashier, but because she was smarter, sharper, and more prepared, and because she came with receipts, citing legislation, quoting experts, pointing to real-world outcomes, while Leavitt seemed stuck in the loop of culture war grievances, hoping that repetition would win over reason. But Crockett wasn't there to play that game. She was there to lead, and lead she did, turning the segment into a teachable moment not just for her opponent, but for everyone watching at home, including those who may not have agreed with her politically, but had no choice but to respect the sheer force of logic she brought to the table. And when the segment ended and the hosts tried to wrap things up, you could see it in their eyes. This wasn't just another news cycle spat. This was a reckoning, a real-time reminder that not every politician is a talking point machine, that some still believe in truth, in justice, in fighting not for clicks or clout, but for the people they represent. And as the screen faded to commercial and the cameras cut away, it was left visibly shaken, her words trailing off into the static of defeat, while Crockett simply leaned back, composed and unshaken, a silent declaration that facts still matter, intelligence still wins, and that no amount of spin can undo the power of a mind rooted in conviction and clarity.